Hello.
Hola. Oh, it's
Hola.
recording now.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was reading something on Twitter.
Oh
And then
God.
obviously, when you find something on Twitter that you're like, wait, what the fuck is going on? And then you're like, I need to read all of the comments underneath that tweet too to maybe try and get the answer that I didn't get in the original tweet.
Did you get the answer?
I didn't. It didn't
Oh.
help. So now I'm still confused, but well, I'm Ricky,
I'm Jake.
and you're listening to 20 somethings doing nothing.
This is a weird day.
Yeah, well, every day's a little weird when it involves us, but yeah, today's extra special weird, I
Yeah.
guess you could say.
How you doing?
I am still recovering from the bachelorette party, which we will get into. We'll also get into why everything's weird, but let's just get right into it and start with random shit.
Random shit.
You start.
Okay. You ever do something kind of reminds me of what you just said about Twitter, where you start to do something and then you get sidetracked and you do something else. You didn't even realize that you stopped doing the thing that you were doing before.
Yep.
So like a big part of what I do is finding like a audio track to go with my content. So a lot of the stuff requires like a music track basically. And I can't use real songs, so I have to use like songs that we have the licenses to.
Right.
And so it sometimes will literally take me hours to find the perfect song, and I'll be scrolling through the site and it's just like one after the other after the other after the other. And then I'll open Twitter or something because I get really bored, and then I'll just let the music play, and then 20 minutes later I'm like, wait, I'm listening to a bunch of stock music right now and I didn't even realize.
You want to know what's fucked up? It's because the stock music isn't very different than the music you fucking listen to, Jake. You listen to coffee shop
Ow!
music.
That hurts my soul.
That's why you don't notice. You're like, oh, well, didn't realize this wasn't Starbucks' greatest hits. My bad.
Let me tell you, Starbucks has got some great hits apparently.
I hate you so much. You love that shit,
Oh
though.
God. Yeah, it's just like good to listen to while you're working, and then so I'm listening to this fucking stock music, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is not the music that I'm trying to listen to.
Easily sidetracked without being sidetracked, though. Because it's like
Yeah,
you're not sidetracked because you're not paying attention to the other thing, but you are sidetracked because you're not doing what you originally were doing.
right. Like today, I was editing something,
Like a
and then I went to
backwards
go
sidetrack.
right, and then I went to go clean my toilet, and then I realized like 10 minutes later that I was still cleaning, and I should have been editing.
Why did you feel the need to clean your toilet in the middle of doing something that you're supposed to be doing for work? Like, what hit you out of nowhere where you went, you know what really needs to be done right now? I really need to clean my toilet in this moment.
Because I got overwhelmed, and then when I get overwhelmed, I like to do anything other than the thing that I actually have to do.
Okay, I feel that. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
So
It's
I went to
better to
pee.
procrastinate at that point, even though that makes it worse in the end, but it's better in that moment.
Right, which doesn't make any sense because I'm still getting something done. So, like, if I'm still getting something done, I might as well get the thing done that I actually have to get done, like not cleaning my
Right, right,
toilet.
right. Not the thing that needs to be done like in that second. You didn't need to clean your toilet right that minute.
Right, but now I have a clean toilet, so it's a great day.
Hey, I am very happy for you because a clean toilet really can change your life.
Hell yeah. What's your
So,
random shit?
my random shit has to do kind of like with the Bachelorette. I was away last weekend in Miami for the first Bachelorette that I've ever been to in my life. And while we were there, we obviously took a lot of like Ubers and Lyfts and things like that because obviously we don't have a car and we're drinking and we're not going to drink and drive. So, through that whole time, I realized like on my way from the hotel to the airport when I was leaving, like I feel so bad for Uber and Lyft drivers because we were so drunk, and not that we were being rude or nasty or anything, but I would never want to deal with a bunch of drunk bachelorette girls. So I feel bad for Uber and Lyft drivers in general, but especially in places like Nashville, Miami, Vegas, like places where these girls go for bachelorettes, because when you're in an Uber XL and there's like 7 of you screaming and listening to music because you're drunk idiots, like these poor people. I feel so bad for them. They do not get paid enough for that shit.
Yeah, when I used to go out in New York, we would get into an Uber, and then people that I was with would immediately ask if they could play their own music. Like they'd be like, "Hey, can I use your aux cord?" And then we would just
Right.
blast whatever the heck we wanted to. And I was like, this guy or girl's gotta hate us right now.
I would lose my shit. Like I would not be well in those situations. And I feel like I'd probably end up throwing hands at some point.
I think you'd be a good ride share driver though.
Because I like to talk.
Right, and you just get along with everyone.
I don't know if I get along with everyone, but I definitely do like to talk.
Well, I think in a short ride you could get along with 85% of your customers, riders,
I
whatever they're
actually
called.
really appreciate that high stat right there because I thought you were going to say something like 55 and I would have agreed with you, but
No, no,
85 makes me
no.
sound really nice.
But the ride has to be under like 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. So like past 10 minutes is when I'd be like, okay, I can't fucking stand this person and they need to get out of my car kind of deal.
I think that's when you would realize, actually, that's a lie. Because I think you and I are pretty good judgments of people. So I think maybe you would actually realize a lot sooner if you didn't like them.
So really I'd be a very bad rideshare driver because I would probably end up hating most people.
Yeah, I take it back. You would suck at that.
Not ideal.
Don't do that job. I would not want to do that job because there's some days, when people are just really trying to talk to you and you just want to not talk to anyone. And you're like, please,
Yeah.
like I was getting a haircut last week, and the guy was. Did I tell you this last week? Like the guy was asking me all these questions and blah blah. And I'm like, dude, let me just sit here and just enjoy this haircut, and don't talk to me, please.
Yeah, it's rough.
Because you
My
could tell he was struggling to keep up the conversation, and I was like, just you don't have to.
Yeah, my ride home Sunday night from the airport when I finally landed in Nashville was like that. And I felt so bad because the guy was so nice. And he was telling me how he works basically like in a basement for like a tech firm or whatever, like just doing tech stuff all day. So he drives Uber because it gives him some social interaction that he doesn't really get throughout the day. So he'll
Mm.
make time out of his day to give himself like 3 hours or 2 hours of driving around to like talk to people. And he just really wanted to talk to me, but I was so tired and I felt so
Oh,
bad. So I kept up the conversation, but I got home and I was like, I want to die.
oh my gosh. I know. I guess it goes the other way too. You get someone that really wants the person that is like you're the customer and they're the employee, and they just want to talk to you.
Yeah, it was rough. Also, my Uber score dropped this weekend,
Oh, that sucks.
which definitely sucks, but
What is your
like
Uber score? I wonder what mine is.
it's still not that bad. It's 4.86.
What? That's amazing. I thought you were going to be like, it's like 3.5.
It was 5 the entire time that I've had it though.
Oh, that
So
sucks.
after this weekend, it dropped. And I'm so curious which one it was. I'm like, ooh, where did I go wrong? And then I'm like, there's so many opportunities where it could have went wrong. So I don't know which one it was that was like, nope, fuck you. Your Uber score is dropping because you guys were a little bullshit.
Okay, so my Uber score somehow, well, I know how, is 4.83.
Okay, so it's worse than mine. That makes me feel better about myself. And you know how it's 4.83.
Yeah, it's from those days in New York City,
Yeah.
for
Like I
sure.
respect it. I get it. Like we sucked, but like also it's not my fault that we sucked.
Also, you could have told me don't play music. Like, it was your decision to let us play the music, so I don't know why you're hating on me because of that.
Because people get so confrontational in these poor Uber driver like situations. You've seen, I'm sure, the videos of like them getting attacked and shit by randos or getting
Yeah, it's kind
screamed
of
at.
terrifying.
It's really terrifying. Like people are just
My
bad people.
Whoa, my Lyft score is 4.9 and I've had 147 rides.
So mine's 5.0 on Lyft. I just looked before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a top tipper badge on Lyft. I didn't even know. I've never
Oh,
looked at my profile.
I've had 248 rides. Damn.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Where
don't
are
have a
you?
top tipper thing though, so that makes me
Oh,
sad.
you're a dick.
I always tip people nice.
Well, a lot of times when I'm doing, like, I was doing lifts for a while for work, and I would always tip well because I wasn't paying for it. So who cares?
Ah, that makes sense. That totally makes sense.
Lyft doesn't, I mean, Uber doesn't tell me how many rides I have. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Also new.
Yeah,
Like
definitely new.
that's a new thing.
Oh, they can see my picture. That's kind of weird. I guess I put that there.
Yes, to see, wait, what?
That was just a long time ago. I never even thought about it.
Oh man. You are
Oh,
something else. Well, let's talk about the Bachelorette since we got there at this point through
the
my
party? The
Uber
party or the show?
realization. The party, not the show. I am watching the show, but let's talk about the party that I went to, the one that I actually experienced myself.
Okay.
First bachelorette party ever.
Wow.
Um, I can say right now that I'm slowly starting to feel more like a normal person, but I'm still really much hurting right now. It's Tuesday
Today's,
night
yeah.
that we're recording this, and I got in Sunday night. I got home finally by like midnight.
Mm, damn.
So
Well, that's kind of late, and then you work at like 3 a.m.
yeah, I woke up at 4:30 in the morning, so I slept about
No.
4 hours. Really
Oh.
wasn't feeling good yesterday at all. I planned to be back earlier on Sunday, but my one friend was like, "No, we're going to celebrate your birthday too, so we're going to extend this a little bit," and extended my flight, which was fine because I was supposed to get in at 10 p.m., which is not the
Right.
end of the world. I live 15 minutes from the airport. Like worst case scenario, because I had a carry on and backpack, I would have got home at 10:30. Like
Right.
I could survive. That's not a big deal. So that didn't happen because my flight got delayed. My flight got delayed when I went to Miami, and then my flight got delayed back. So the universe was basically like, fuck you 2 times.
I've been seeing so many people, they're like having flight issues. Sorry, that took me a while. So many people have been
I
having
was
flight
letting you have
issues
your
lately.
moment.
Like I feel like I'm seeing so many things on Instagram where people are like, "Oh, my flight's late or my flight's canceled," or blah blah blah. Like everyone's just having problems.
Yeah, I know a lot of airlines are having issues with the fact that they laid off all their pilots and now they haven't hired anybody back and they can't get everything figured out. So I think that's part of the reason why.
Also, your birthday lands on a Friday this year.
Yeah,
That's fun.
I guess. I don't really plan to do anything, but yeah.
You're not doing anything for your birthday?
I don't really want to. We'll get into that after the
Why?
bachelorette thing.
You
Let me
said
wrap
this
up this
last year
bachelorette
too.
recap. I don't birthdays aren't a big deal to me. I don't really care about birthdays.
Okay, finish your bachelorette. So what
So
else happened?
basically, it was a very long weekend, very exhausting weekend. I had a good time. I spent around like $2,500. There was a
What?
little bit of drama. Yeah, probably around 2,500. It could be under. It might be more like 2,200, but I won't actually sit down and calculate all of it because that just makes me really sad when I think about it. So I won't.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, I
That's
won't look.
insane.
Yeah.
Holy cow. What was the biggest expense?
Probably the hotel room.
Really?
Yeah, because we stayed at a really fancy hotel. We stayed at the one in South Beach, and it's very, very expensive there. So I think that was
Wow.
the most expensive part of it because I booked a super cheap flight. Um, and then I mean, we rented a yacht for the day and
Casual.
like things like that. So there was a lot of fun stuff, but it was very expensive. So that was a thing. We went to the strip club Saturday night. I didn't get her a stripper, but we did
Mm.
go to the strip club. So there were still strippers involved in some way, but they were female strippers, not men.
So it was a bunch of females that went to a female strip club.
Yes, exactly. Well, it's like a nightclub and a strip club all in one.
So how does that okay.
Yeah,
Wait.
it's called 11.
Oh yeah.
So it's like there's strippers all over the place performing and stuff. And like you can throw them money, obviously, like you're at a strip club and they do little performances down in the middle part, but it's also a club. So you have bottle service and you can dance in your own little like area and things like that. So it's kind of dual. It's
The
both.
closest thing I had to a strip club this weekend is I went to a drag show.
I love drag shows.
You
They're
know,
amazing.
it's just not my cup of tea.
And that's okay. It doesn't have to be Jakeford.
I just don't get it.
What do you mean?
Like okay, I've seen some drag um shows where like you're very impressed with the person and there's clearly some talent there, but a lot of people, I'm just like I don't understand. I just don't get it. You're just lip syncing and like mediocrely dancing. That's not a word, but
Right. Right. I get what you're saying because we have a drag show here in Nashville that my friend Zach does. He's the MC for it. And the drag queens that are in that show are freaking phenomenal. They take hours to do their makeup. They actually perform. They do flips and all sorts of stuff off the stage. Like, yeah, it's intense. Like, they are something else. And then I went to another drag show in Nashville and I was like, less impressive.
Gotcha. So I'm just going to the wrong drag shows, basically.
Right. Yeah. You got to find like the really good ones, the ones that really actually give a fuck and want to be a performer, you know?
Well, also this place, it's a bar that I usually go to, and that night they were charging $20 cover. So already I was like, that's kind of nuts
You're already
because
pissed, huh?
yeah, this place is not worth $20 to just step in the door. And then it was mediocre drag queens.
Aw, Jakeford.
But
I'm so
hey, I
sorry to hear
couldn't do
that.
it, so you know, I can't shit on them too much because I couldn't do what they do. But I also have
Facts.
no desire to do it.
Yeah, but even if you wanted to, you could not.
No, definitely. Nobody, people would get their $20 back. They would say, this is
You would pay people $20 to show up.
right. Exactly. Glad we're on the same page. Oh my God.
But yeah, so I think all in all, it was like a typical bachelorette trip from what I know, even though this is the first one I've ever been to. So I don't know for sure. But yeah, so I don't really have anything like exciting to say about it. Like there wasn't anything crazy that happened.
Well,
You know, it was like
hopefully,
classic stuff.
hopefully you don't have a lot of those this year for your bank account's sake.
This was the only one.
Oh, that's nice. I have 2.
Yeah, this is the only one. And I only have 2 weddings left that I'll be able to make this year. And that's it. So I'm like very, very happy about that.
Right, because then what we always forget about, or at least I always forget about, is you also have to get a wedding gift on
Well,
top
we have
of
to
everything
fly
else.
to the wedding
Yeah, that should
and
be
we
our
have to get
gift.
wedding gifts. I
Right.
know. Like I'm your fucking gift, bro.
Right. For
I had to
real.
pay to be here.
Seriously.
It sucks.
We've talked about this so many times and I still have no idea what to get my best friend for his wedding gift.
Because you're the best man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I've never been a maid of honor. I don't really know what you're supposed to do in those situations. I've been a bridesmaid, but typically when you're a bridesmaid, it's like everybody kind of comes together and you all pitch in for one big gift kind of deal.
Really?
At least that's what we've done before.
That's kind of an interesting idea. How come you've never told me this before?
So we've done that before for 2 of the weddings that I was in. We all kind of came together and we knew that the one bride wanted something in particular for her wedding, but didn't necessarily want to pay for it. So like we paid for it instead.
That's awesome.
So it's more like you like the experiences. One was a photo booth because they wanted a photo booth.
Oh, that's
and then I don't remember what the other one was. Yeah, so it was like it's an expensive gift, you know what I mean? But when there's a bunch of you, it's not that bad and you all split it up.
Right.
And it ends up being like a little bit more than what you would end up giving as a gift anyways.
So I think from what you're saying is that we should get him a stripper for the actual wedding reception.
Absolutely. I think everyone would really be into that. And you definitely give him something that would be talked about for a while.
Can you imagine? Oh my God. The parents.
I think he'd disown you at that point.
I think he might kick me. I think that would be the one thing I could do that he would be like, you have to leave.
You gotta go.
Like you can't stay here anymore.
I need you to get the fuck out of my wedding.
That's what we should have done. Come up with a list of gifts that I could get him that would get me kicked out of the wedding.
But like this is a situation where you don't want to get kicked out of the wedding.
That's true. I actually really want to be at this wedding.
Yeah. Yes, that's not a good idea.
Like it's gonna be awesome.
But yeah, so that's that on that. I have the wedding in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. I'm like, what even is today?
This girl's wedding?
Yeah, it's in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Damn.
Yeah, it's really soon.
I don't know how people normally do it though. My bachelor party is Labor Day weekend, and then he's getting married in October. Oh wait, that's like a month.
Yeah, I think that's normal. Really, when it comes down to it.
I've
heard people doing it even earlier and even later.
Yeah, I have one later this year that the bachelor party is the night before the wedding,
which is very Hollywood-esque. I think they only really do that in movies anymore because everybody realized that's a terrible idea.
It's going to be just as bad of an idea as we're expecting it to be, and I'm so excited.
Like that's a horrible idea. Just thinking about how I felt on Monday.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm sorry, I can't make your wedding. Like, I gotta go home and I need to sleep for like the next 30 hours. So I'm not gonna make it. I'm so sorry. Or then I would feel like not everyone's going to have as much fun because they're going to be worried that they wouldn't feel good for the wedding.
Well, so I think the some of the groomsmen are going to be fine. The groom is definitely going to be fine. He can drink a freaking fuel tanker's worth of vodka and be fine the next day.
Good
But
for
some of us are
him.
going to be struggling.
Well, good luck to you all. I hope nothing but the best for everyone involved.
Thank
I
you.
don't see that going well, but I hope it ends up being really great
It's going to
and
be
that
a
I'm wrong.
story.
That's for damn sure. It'll definitely be a story.
Yeah.
Oof. I can't hack it anymore, dude. Like I feel like shit after a weekend full of drinking. Like I just don't feel well. I get anxious now. My feet were swollen. Like my feet got so swollen from not drinking enough water and only drinking booze for days at a time. Like I'm an old fuck.
Well, at least you can make it through a whole weekend. I could barely make it through one night anymore.
Dude, I barely made it through the weekend. I'm shocked that I'm here right now. I'm
There was
shocked
a
that I can form sentences because I couldn't yesterday.
Yeah, you look pretty great. I mean, you
I
don't even look great. You're
slept.
just like coming across great.
I think it's just that I'm trained to be like, you're fine.
Mm.
Everything's fine. Well, everything's on fire. But yesterday I couldn't even hold it together to do that. There were parts of the day where I was sitting at work and I was like, I don't know if I'm about to fall backwards and pass the fuck out or if I'm literally going to throw up all over the soundboard in front of me. Like
Did you
I'm
throw
not
up?
doing well. I didn't. I
No.
didn't throw up. I made myself throw up at one point at work because I was like, this will make me feel better. And I did feel a little bit better. But then I was just like really like dizzy and out of it. And you know, when you just don't feel like your brain is working properly because you haven't slept, you haven't had water, you haven't done any of the things that your body needs you to do. So your body's just like, no, motherfucker, I'm done functioning right now. You
Yeah.
need to do all of those things and then I'll start working again. That's basically where I got to that point.
Okay, so I saw something on Facebook the other day that was like, if I give you $3 billion, or I will give you $3 billion, but you're never allowed to take a sip of alcohol again for the rest of your life. Can you do it? And I was like, why is that even a question?
Okay, so I'm going to say right now that almost 29-year-old Rick can easily do that, no problem. But if you asked me that when I was 20, even 25, I'd be like, no.
$3 billion.
Yeah, but it's not really about the idea of making the money. It's about like going out with your friends and having fun with your friends and experiencing the things you like to experience. And like the fact that I like to sit down and have a glass of wine with my boyfriend sometimes. Not even like get fucked up and like rage, but like I just want to sit down and have a glass of wine to like unwind and relax. And that kind of becomes a social aspect for a lot of people.
Replace it with fucking club soda or something. $3 billion. You do whatever the fuck you want every single day for the rest of your life and never have to worry about anything. Well, you have
But
to worry
Jake,
about
you know
stuff.
that money's not my whole priority in life. And also, I'd still work. Like, I wouldn't just be like, all right, I have $3 billion. I'm not going to do anything. Everybody else still works.
Money doesn't buy happiness, but when you have $3 billion, I think you could buy happiness.
But when you have $3 billion, that's only you using the $3 billion.
Well, unless you do good things for the world.
Yeah, that would be the idea. But like, okay, you make $3 billion, you stop working. Great. What do you do every day then?
Whatever the fuck you want.
You're not doing it with anybody. You're just doing it alone.
Well,
All
okay,
your friends
so
have to work because they all got
are
to
you?
pay bills. They all have houses. They all have kids. They all have relationships. They're all married. Like,
What if it was you and AJ?
I think that both of us would still want to work, though. I
Like
don't think that we'd be able to not work.
if I had $3 billion, it would. I couldn't just do nothing forever because I'd be so lonely.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it sounds great in theory. Like, having $3 billion sounds amazing when you're thinking about it right now, right? Like, wow, yes, ideal. But like, you're not really, there's nothing like, I don't see the greatest part of that because like I said, you'd want to do things with your friends and your family and you can't really do that because everybody still has a life. Just because you have $3 billion doesn't mean that they have $3 billion.
Well, I think you could take $3 billion and split it up between everyone that you like the most, and nobody would have to do anything for the rest of their life.
So we've talked about this, but I still don't think that that would be a thing that would happen.
I
I
don't.
think
We've
everybody
never.
would still want to work.
We've had that discussion. We've had the lottery discussion before, but we've never talked about this amount of money where you could
Right.
split it up evenly between all of the closest people in your life, and then you can all do whatever you want forever. Right? So let's say you have 10 people, that'd be like what, 30 million each? Oh, my phone can't even do that math.
It would be more than that, I think.
All right, you split up between, let's
I don't
say,
know,
20
actually. I don't know
people.
math.
If you split up between 20 people, it's $150 million a person.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I think it's actually 300 million per person if it's
Right,
10
if it's
people. But then
10.
I was like, I'm not good at the math, so I might be
Oh.
wrong. But yeah, like I guess that's possible. I just really don't. I don't see that happening. I don't see it working out the way that you think it would. I just really don't.
Well, the reason that I thought of that is because when you're talking about how bad our hangovers are, I'm like, sometimes I have a hangover like that, and I'm like, I legitimately could stop drinking forever because the hangovers are just horrible. And I've gotten to the point now where
Horrible.
like I can have such a good time and have zero alcohol or have like one glass of wine and still have an amazing time, which I've been doing out here because I've been driving a lot. And so I've been having like 2 glasses of wine and then still having an amazing time. But I'm like if I'm still working in the wine world, like giving up drinking completely, I don't really see that happening.
It's going to be hard to do that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's easy to do. And I think it's hard for anybody to kind of do, except for the people that just never enjoyed the idea of drinking.
Right.
But to give that up, even for 3 billion, is like kind of hard.
Well, for $3 billion, are you kidding? That's not even a question for me. One of my
I don't know, man. I think you'd have so many moments right now where you'd be like, I really want that glass of wine, or I really want to, like, at my best friend's wedding, have a glass of champagne to toast. You can't.
well, guess what? You've replaced it with something else.
I don't know, man.
Sparkling
I
juice.
think you're giving yourself a lot of credit for the sake of money, and I don't think that it would actually work out very well for you.
One of my best friends that I went to college with, he doesn't drink anymore. I feel like we've talked about him. And he does it because he never had an issue with it. He never like had any sort of real reason other than he just didn't enjoy the way it makes him feel anymore.
Yeah, and
And he
sometimes
was
that's just
like,
people feel that way.
I'm not going to drink. And I'm like, all right, I
But
respect
that's
that.
easier to do when it's a personal thing.
Right.
Like when you personally just don't, you're like, no, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I think that's so much easier than almost like having money as a bribe. Because it's not that you don't want to drink alcohol anymore. You want to continue drinking alcohol. But it's that somebody's now bribing you with $3 million not to drink alcohol. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think, though, at this point in my life, I don't have a high enough desire that I would say no to that.
Okay. We're getting old, Jake.
It's
We're
weird.
getting old.
But like wine is all about the social experience, right? And I've met so many
Mhm.
people, and most experiences I have drinking a glass of wine are shared with another human. And so
Exactly.
many awesome memories over a bottle or a glass of wine. And I just really enjoy it. So unless somebody's got $3 billion, I'm going to keep
Luckily,
drinking.
you don't know anyone who has any kind of money like that. So you don't have to worry about the situation.
I know people with a lot of money, but not $3 billion
Okay, but
kind of money.
3 billion is so much. I was saying this today to my friend and coworker because we were talking about the space flight that happened today, Blue
Mm.
Origin with Bezos. So he went up with this kid who was 18 and his dad bought him the ticket on the flight for, I don't know, 26 or 28 million dollars, something crazy like that, which that sounds like a fuck ton to us. Like 28 million dollars is an insane amount of money. Then I looked up that the guy was worth 1.5 billion dollars and I was like,
Ooh.
28 million ain't shit to him. And my coworker goes, a billion? That's like nothing. I'm like, you don't understand how many dollars are in $1 billion then? Because that's
It
a
is
lot
kind of
of fucking
insane.
money. Like 28 million compared to 1.5 billion is like $20 to us. Like, it's insane. It's wild when you think about it. What are
My
you
phone
trying to
won't
do right now,
turn.
Jakeford?
I'm trying to do math, but my calculator doesn't even go that high.
There's not enough space for all the zeros.
There's no space. What a problem to have. There's not enough space for all my money.
Oh no, what are you going to do? Spend it all?
Yeah.
All right, Jake, let's get into the inevitable because it's time.
You want to just avoid it forever?
I feel like we can't avoid it forever because it needs to be discussed because otherwise it's going to be really confusing next week or the week after.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to start off by reading a text message that we got.
Okay.
Okay. We got this, I don't know when, a few weeks ago. Hi, guys. First off, I need to tell you that I'm old AF. I discovered 20 somethings doing nothing on my free version of Pandora during the pandemic and was immediately hooked. Did you know we were on Pandora?
Yes.
I didn't know people even still use Pandora.
I knew we were on Pandora because I'm the one that set all those things up because
Yeah.
you were a part of that. That was years ago. So I'm not
Yeah.
surprised you didn't know.
Okay, he continued to say, I listen/watch the new shows on YouTube, and I have so far listened to shows 1 through 114 on Pandora. I listen at the gym or when walking my dog around the neighborhood. I'm the crazy old guy who's always laughing out loud at random times behind my mask. You helped me survive the COVID pandemic with my sense of humor intact. Like Jake, I have many thoughts, but we'll keep this intro text short for now. Love you guys, David.
Really sweet text.
That's so nice.
Made me really happy when we got it.
Oh, and like those are the messages that just like make my day every day and made me happy that I told you that I want to be your co-host however many years ago that was.
Oh my God, so long ago now.
But today is my last podcast.
Yes, it is. You came to me about, what, 2 weeks ago and said that you needed to stop doing it?
Yep.
I think it was 2 weeks ago at this point. Yeah, 2 weeks.
I don't really know what to say.
It's all you. I'm like, this is all you right now.
Basically the reason that I'm leaving is because I really want to put all of my effort into work out here and spending the time that I'm not working exploring and meeting people and just enjoying life out here. And I just don't feel like I can do both. And podcasting is not like where I want to take my life, and I'm trying to take my life in a different direction. And so, in order to do that, I feel like I have to let this go. And yeah, it was not an easy decision, and it took me a lot of thinking and going back and forth and deciding what would really be the best decision. And I came to the conclusion that leaving was the best decision.
I think you explained that perfectly. And that's essentially how you kind of explained it to me 2 weeks ago when you said it to me. It's kind of like crazy because when we started doing this podcast, we had no idea what was going to happen with it. When I started doing it, I had no idea what was going to happen with it. And then you joined on and it was like, oh, I don't know where this is going still. I left 2 years ago now. 2 years ago? I don't even fucking remember at this point, but I left because I needed to go and do what I needed to do for my job and my career to get to where I am now. And now you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of something that was bound to happen at some point. And now eventually this was going to end. I don't know what's going to happen at this point because I haven't really figured out what I'm going to do yet. I'd like to continue to do the podcast. I'm just not sure in what capacity I'm going to do it. So everyone's going to have to wait and see.
Oh my God.
If there's an episode next week, there's an episode next week. If there's not, then I obviously will update everybody at some point. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do just yet. So I don't want to say one thing and then have it change. I have a few ideas. I just don't have them fleshed out to the point where they make any sense. But if I can, I will continue to do it. It'll be a little weird without Jake, but
So I've been telling you that I think you would do a really awesome solo episode, and you're so against that. So everyone needs to tweet Ricky and tell her that she needs to do a solo episode so that she feels forced to do it, and then it proves to her that she'll be really good at doing one.
I don't think I could do like a solo episode every like week. I think it would just be weird.
For you.
Yeah, and if it's weird for me, then it's weird for everyone else.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I don't think that that's going to be ideal. I mean, it
Oh,
might have to happen as the first one that I do right off the bat, but I don't plan to make that something that I do forever. We'll see though. I mean, maybe I have random people come on and be my co-host again like I did when I first started out, or maybe I kind of pivot into something slightly different but still kind of the same. I haven't decided. I'm really not sure. But if there's a way for me to make it work and it makes sense and I think it'll be successful and I think that you all will enjoy listening still, then I will continue to do it. If I don't feel like that's going to happen, then I don't want to keep doing this in a shittier capacity just for the sake of doing it. You know what I mean? Like if it's not going to work, it's not going to work. But stay tuned.
uh, telling you whenever 2 weeks ago was like harder than breaking up with some people I've broken up with.
Oh, Jake. That makes me really sad. It makes me want to cry right now.
It sucked, but I knew that. Well, I mean, by the time I told you, I knew for sure that like this was the best decision, and yeah, obviously, as I've talked about before, I freaking love California, and I'm like actually into what I'm doing for the first time in a while, and so it's awesome, and
Which is all amazing. Yeah.
I want to kill it
And you're
and
going
focus on it.
to.
Thanks. You
You're
too.
going to. You already are. You're already doing great. I'm already very proud of you. And this is a big step for you. And I want you to be able to enjoy it fully, wholeheartedly, without any sort of obstacles in your way. And off the podcast, Jake and I have had conversations on multiple occasions where we've always said that we wanted this to be fun. And if it ever stopped being fun, that we wouldn't do it anymore. Or if it wasn't fun for the one and it was for the other, that we'd figure it out when the time came. So, really, what this comes down to, not that it's not fun for you anymore, it's just the idea that it won't be fun anymore because it'll feel more like you have to do it.
Right.
And that's never what we wanted to happen because that comes through.
Absolutely. And the reason that I started off by reading that text message is because the like community that we've built of incredible humans makes me so happy. And like we don't have a giant audience, but the audience that we have is so engaged and so fucking awesome. And
Mhm.
like that I'm
Absolutely.
going to miss a shitload. Like I'm going to miss everyone like shitting on me for some stupid thing that I did or like agreeing with me over this little thing, like the little things that just would make us smile throughout the day. And that's, you'll get to keep doing that either through this or your job. But like my job is a little different where I don't really interact with people like that and get to share my life, and so it's kind of weird where like this is where I talk about things that happen in a funny way, whereas like at work it's just work.
It also just hit me that this is going to be the first time that you don't have to talk about your life.
At all.
That's weird because even when we stopped the podcast, you were still working at Elvis Duran. So you were still doing that.
Yeah, it was weird.
That's
Now
kind of crazy.
we'll have to like have conversations like normal friends.
I mean, we still have normal friends
I don't
conversation.
remember how to be normal friends.
We still do that because there are things that happen in our life that even are like we are like, okay, no, we can't talk about that yet, or no, we're not going to talk about that because it involves somebody who would be uncomfortable with us talking about that. So we still talk about things as normal friends. It's just that a lot of what we do is just on here.
I know. I feel like a lot. Well, exactly, because we started saving things for the podcast.
Yes, because we want the initial true reactions to the situations that were happening. So we
Right.
wouldn't tell each other all the full details, really.
So weird.
It's really weird. It's going to be
It's a
weird.
weird friendship. Like, hey, I have
I
a story
haven't,
for you, but I can't tell you until we're recording ourselves.
I would never have it any other way because it worked.
Yeah.
So we'll change it up now, but let it be known that I would never have it any other way to start.
Well,
Because I mean, it could also be said that we even grew as better friends because of the podcast.
oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me?
So like it kind of put us in a situation where even though we were already friends, we became closer and closer through doing this like crazy idea and seeing what the fuck would happen. So for that, I will always be thankful.
Me too.
And that's as happy as I'm going to get right now because if I
Like,
get any sappier, I'm going to cry like I did 2 weeks ago.
do you think that if I didn't join the podcast, that we would have become as good of friends as we did?
No, I don't think that we would have. I think we
I don't
would
think we
still
would have
be
either.
friends. Like we would have been casual friends,
Right.
because we all have like we have the same friends, like the same group of friends. So we would have still been friends, but not as good as we are now. Like we're very good friends now because of the podcast. You're one of my best friends.
Aw, I love you.
I love you. Okay, now I'm going to stop because now I'm going to cry. So we're not going to do that. That's not going to happen. You
Talk
guys have
about
listened to too many podcasts of us crying and us getting emotional. We're not going to do that.
nope.
Not today.
I want to talk
Because
about
this is a good thing.
puppies or something.
We're going to do our last shower thoughts is what we're going to do.
Well, my last shower thoughts. Maybe not your last one.
Yeah, we'll see. It might be my last one because I may not do it anymore. Who knows?
2 shower thoughts?
I might not do shower thoughts anymore. Who knows?
Oh.
Might be something else that I do. I don't
Well,
know. I haven't decided.
I'll just FaceTime you in the shower and we can do it on our own.
Oh, perfect. Thank God. Thank God for FaceTime.
Seriously, though. Okay, Ricky. Can we make it a little cooler today? Because I'm getting sweaty.
Fine. Only for this one because it's the last one that you're going to do. I'll make it a colder shower and it won't be steaming hot to the point where your skin's falling off.
Thank you.
Because that's called compromise and a good friend.
Ricky, what are you thinking in the shower?
Thinking about the fact that the word prefix has a prefix in it.
Whoa. Whoa. That's the only thing about English that makes sense.
Nothing else makes sense.
Wild.
Right?
Do you know what I was thinking the other day?
No, tell me what you were thinking.
I want to get to the point in life where I can pump gas and just look off into the sunset.
Why can't you do that yet?
Because I got to look at how much money I'm going to be out, especially living here. I'm like, oh shit, $40. Oh shit, $50. Oh shit, $55. Oh, we're still going. But
I told you there were heavy, heavy prices there.
One day I'll just be pumping gas and looking out into the world.
Fingers crossed, Jake Ford. Fingers fucking crossed.
That $3 billion is going to be great. I'm not going to be pumping gas when I got $3 billion, I'll tell you that much. Someone's going to fill my car.
Oh, Jake Ford. All right. Well, do
this
your
is
last
weird.
spiel.
I'm not sure what's happening.
It's weird, right?
Well, it's weird for you because you're like, okay, I don't really know.
Yeah, because
I know, this is my last episode, but like you don't know what's going on.
I have no idea. I'll figure it out. I have before when I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen.
So how are you going to tell people?
I will either come on the podcast and post a podcast explaining what's going to happen next, or you could always follow us at 20SDM Podcast. And by follow us, I mean follow me because now Jake's not going to be a part of this anymore.
And what's the text number?
I don't know the text number.
I don't understand how you don't know fucking text number.
How am I supposed to do the text number when I do? I'm going to have to write it down every day before I go on.
Okay, it's 201. Repeat after me. 201.
Okay. 201.
588.
588.
5139.
5139.
Yes.
201 588 5139.
You got it.
Heck yeah. Who needs a Jake? I'm kidding. I need a Jake. I'm actually really sad about this.
Yeah, fuck me.
But I also wouldn't be Ricky if I didn't say that.
It's true. It's very true.
All right. You have any last words? Any final words, Jake?
Thank you for everyone who stuck with us, and we'll hopefully continue to stick with Ricky whatever happens, and making this a lot of fun, because otherwise without you it would have just been us talking to each other, and that's basically what it's going to be now. So
absolute facts.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe I catch you next week. Maybe I don't. We'll see. Only time will tell.
That's so scary. All right. See ya.